It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. We've done all the work for you. All you have to do is press play and listen. Today we are going to be talking. It's funny how this came about because my Aussie crew, like my all Aussie crew, Josh and Jamie, we have like a rotating message, and Josh just goes, "Hey, me and Jamie are keen to do this Kiwi band." I was like, all right, let's do it. So talk to me about the Phoenix Foundation, Josh, and why this was the next one that you guys wanted to jump on board for.
Well, it's actually all an elaborate joke. We just make up weird band names and pretend that they're local bands just to see if you'd say yes or not. In all seriousness, it's a long story of how I got into it, and then that in turn influenced Jamo. I remember once I got my first TV and I was watching just late night TV, nothing to do, and this great song come on it, the credits called Special Surprise, but it was by Luke Buda, who's the guitarist of the Phoenix Foundation, and went to the rabbit hole and saw he was coming out to play in Australia at quite a small venue called the Northcote Social Club. Jamie was just starting to get into more indie type of music at the time, so I invited him to come and watch. His girlfriend is a New Zealander, so I'm like, oh, well, I'll just say they're New Zealanders too. And basically went along, enjoyed it. Haven't heard anything from them since in terms of coming out, but I suppose I knew he liked this band, so I thought it would be a good show to do. I like them as well, but getting into this to doing this show sort of helped me get into the band more and listen to their albums in more detail. I suppose they're just a good indie band and they're real, so I thought, yeah, that'll work for the show.
They're real. Like the bar is low sometimes on Deprogram, but all right.
They produce sounds.
And these are the kind of sounds that you do indeed enjoy, Jamie. So talk to me about the Phoenix Foundation. As you know, Josh has already kind of laid it down that he's the one who kind of opened the door, but you're the one who stepped through. So talk to me about it.
Yeah, so like lots of things that come from New Zealand, Australians kind of just open up our arms and claim it as our own, even though New Zealanders or Kiwis, which correct term, calling them Kiwis, spot on with your introduction.
Australian to mansplain New Zealand.
But like, you know, as much as they don't like to be associated with Australia where they can, we tend to do that quite a lot. But they are a stellar band, and you know, you go through their discog and you listen to all of their albums as they evolve, and yeah, they've just got this really nice kind of vibing, relaxing tune going on, and yeah, having heard them live once when they just released their album Fandango, that probably is still one of the best albums that they have made today, and I've been really wanting to hear them live since, even though they are only a flight away to see. It's kind of you still would like them to come to Australia, and I think they were planning on doing so at one point, but then the nasty cough ruined that for us. But yeah, they're just a really chill band to listen to, and before this deprogrammed, I really did forget just how good and how top notch their sounds are. So yeah.
Well, as with usual, I don't know why it took till this episode specifically for me to click into like what I'm going to get from a Josh and Jamie band, but I started listening to the first record. You know, we'll get into like, you know, the song specific stuff here on the next layer, but like I knew that this was going to be a band that you can't fall in love with the first record. You can't. You're not allowed to, because if you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure. So Obviously, clearly, this is a band I'd never heard of. This was, nowhere on my radar at all. This wasn't even on the list. Like I said, Josh just kind of messaged me and said, "Hey, we'd like to do this one." I was like, "All right, well, let's do it." Like, so,
We've got to appease all the Kiwi listeners out there.
yeah. Hey,
They do exist.
they do exist.
Despite the efforts of a lot of people, including the Risk Game Board, from trying to avoid them from being around.
Yes. So, again, like I kind of knew what to expect as far as, some of the sounds, like the progression of the band. And like I said, you can't fall in love with the first record. But as you're going through this, Josh, like what are you looking to pluck into to bring in to set the table for them for your 20?
Well, I suppose that, it becomes clear after a while what they do good. And I suppose I sort of want to share some of those songs that they, basically, long story short, I think they make great mellow sort of pop music, but it's challenging. They're not just going straight out. They've only got a handful of songs I'd even call pure pop songs. They're an indie band, but I feel like they're a band that you can get people into, and as you said before, sort of reward patient listeners who have repeat listens and new details emerge. And like myself, from preparing for this show, a lot of songs they start to become obvious that, wow, these are really good tunes. I don't know why I haven't gotten into this before. Like I have, they're a band that I see a lot here in JB Hi-Fi is like our big CD store over here, or multi-purpose store, but I'd always see the Phoenix Foundation albums $2, $3, and I'd get them, but then I only like 2 songs. But now later I'm like, I've got this album and I like 7 songs of this. Why did I ignore it when I was 21?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is it becoming? Why am I getting it just now? Like getting into my 30s. I don't know. It's unraveled itself over time.
Again, I feel like that's kind of a common theme with the bands that the three of us have done here together is they kind of reveal themselves to you as you go. So, with what Josh said, like, how did you put your 20 together for this one, Jamie? Like, you always seem to be, I don't want to say the odd man out, but you always seem to have like a very different direction than Josh and I do.
Well, I think I really love the instrumental mixes on a lot of these tracks, like the synthy, bassy, and poppy, boppy sounds that they create with their music is quite fun to listen to. I just listening back to my list multiple times, I just find myself bopping and tapping to the beat on every track. It's very infectious. But then also, like, lyrically, I think a lot of their songs are very witty lyrically, and I love the lyrics and the vocals on a lot of these tracks, because I like some of the lyrics that some songs have. I find myself even just repeating in day-to-day life. So yeah, from that aspect, they're just great to refer to and listen back on. And yeah, the more you listen to them, the more you go, man, like I thought, like some albums I didn't rate as high as other albums I like immediately, but you listen back a few times and you go, this is actually quite a cracking album, and they are, like a lot of albums. I mean, Men and I Trust, which we did previously, is the odd one out, but like a lot of artists, they have their standouts, they're very clear standouts, but you listen to the albums more and more, and you go, well, the whole album's quite kind of a vibe. So it's quite fun to listen to, especially when you're in that mood to just like mellow out and chill.
As you mentioning the lyrics, like I personally, I don't give a shit about the lyrics until I like the song. But you mentioning the humor, it does come out in some of their songs, and it very much a humor of this part of the world. Like, and I'll mention later 2 of the songs I've chosen where the lyrics like come out and they sort of make me laugh. You can just sort of you can sort of feel the sarcasm coming out. It's kind of obvious. Maybe it wouldn't be to everyone, but it kind of like adds to the song because it just gives it that extra layer of being funny and sort of dry.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'll definitely point out when I've picked a song and the lyrics which I've like really gravitated towards that get stuck in my head. Like spot on, mate.
Well, as maybe I am the odd man out again this week. This week, but so I said this before, but it bears repeating. You can never fall in love with a first record when I'm doing a band with you guys. I can't. You're not allowed. I feel like I had a lot from the first one, and then I listened to the second one. I was like, oh wait, no, it's not that. And then I got to, what does it go? Horsepower, Pegasus, and then
Buffalo?
the one before Buffalo, Happy Ending.
Happy ending. Oh, yeah, right.
And then I clicked into Happy Ending, and I'm like, wait, it's neither of those either. Like it's this. And then I feel like from Happy Ending on, it was on. It was like, oh, there they are. And that's not to discredit the first two records. It's just that's where I clicked in. And
Oh, absolutely. Like the first two records definitely have like I said, their standout tracks. But yeah, from Buffalo and Fandango, which I believe are probably their two albums on the pedestal, high on the pedestal. Like, yeah, it really does kick off from there. It just takes another gear entirely.
no, that's the perfect way to put it, is because that's how I felt. And so like once I was done with Happy Ending, I went and edited my first list already. I was like, okay, there's a couple that I can drop off from the first two. We're gonna go heavy on Happy Ending, and then we're gonna go forward. And like you said, it's Happy Ending, Buffalo, and Fandango. I was like just locked in. I was like, okay, this is the meat and potatoes of this. This is the hard part. And I think I mentioned, I can't remember what it was on First Pass, 40 something, maybe 42. And none of the cuts were easy. So it's just like, all right, well, I got to get to 20 somehow. I'm just going to start ripping the Band-Aid off, and just no reason. I kind of went with a lot of first instinct of, this one feels right. This one kind of tells, because again, this is like a lot of Josh and Jamie episodes. This is a vibe band. And that means gameplay may be hard, but there aren't very many wrong answers. So like, it really kind of depends on the vibe when you're listening, the vibe that you're going for. So that said, this could be wild. We could go anywhere from here, Josh. Based on everything we've said so far, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
Granted, it was hard to narrow down, but I'm going to shoot for. Now I'm going to go positive. I'll say 5.
All right, I like it. What do you think, Jamie?
I was gonna say 5, and I'll go. I think ultra positive and say 6.
All right. Oh man, does that mean I got to be the dick?
You should say 20.
That would be ridiculous.
That would freak me the fuck out.
If all three of us had the same list, that'd be weird. I mean, it would definitely be historic. Man, my inclination is to go lower than you guys, but like, I love the positivity you guys are putting out there. Like, part of me wants to go more positive, just based on the way you guys feel.
It's night time, mate. It's my time of day.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is hilarious. It's 9:30 in the morning here. I mean, not early.
Yeah.
But it's morning. So
Yeah, mate, the
thanks.
sun set about 6 hours ago here.
It's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit in your terms. It's quite freezing.
It's not 0 degrees Celsius. The actual proper way to measure temperature, but
I won't know.
it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
It's pretty chilly outside for sure.
Oh, shoot. All right. So I'm gonna take the step up. I'm gonna go 7, even though it feels ridiculously high. But I like the positivity you guys are putting out there, and I want to build on that. So I'm going to take 7. And I mean, the way this year has gone, I've won way too many times, so I need to lose one. So we're gonna take a quick pause, and when we come back, we gonna play the game. It's the program. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 3 of us have come to the Phoenix Foundation. I think we did the whole discography. I forgot to ask that part. But we've come through it, plucked out 20 songs that we are now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never given the Phoenix Foundation the time of day. And you may not have. I mean, unless you live in New Zealand or Australia, you may not have ever heard of them. Maybe you're American like me, and you don't know who the hell they are. Today, you're going to know. I mean, I kind of gotta start where I locked in, right? At least find out where you guys are on it, as opposed to going to my usual route. I'm gonna go with where I locked in. The second I heard this tune, I was like, okay, this band is gonna be a problem, but a good problem to have. Bright Gray.
Oh yeah, great start.
Yeah, I've got that one as well.
Yes.
That's probably as good a song as they've written. Like I like other songs more, but I hear this song, and it's a great vocal performance. He really sells it. It's got this sort of desperate energy to it.
It's like really bubbly. It's positive. Yeah, like it's like.
Even though it's called Bright Grey.
Right.
Well, I think the whole point of the song is like, even though it's overcast, it's like doesn't mean it's meant to be gloomy. Look on the bright side of it, sort of thing.
Yeah. I that's the vibe I got, but I also love that it does have this bright feeling to it, and also there is this overcast. Like overcast is the perfect word. There's like an overarching overcast feeling to it, but it's like this song is kind of trying to poke through that. At least that's the vibe I got from it.
It's like he's like, I want to get better here.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I want to improve.
Exactly. All right.
There's a longing to it.
I mean, I could make an argument that this is their number 1, but we'll get to that when we get there. All right, Josh.
Now I was saying before that they don't often write straight pop songs, but I'm gonna go for what I think is their straight pop song, and that's "Flock of Hearts." It's just so sweet.
I've got that one.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, we're on track for 20. Quick early night.
That's pretty good.
All right, 1, and 1. I forgot to put all this in ahead of time, so good times. Normally, I put my answers into the spreadsheet before, so I just have to find the ones I'm not on.
I think you're rattled because you understand that we are going to come up with 20 tonight. You're like, fuck, this is a first in the program history coming up.
I don't know. I haven't gone yet, and I usually am the wild card here.
We're not going to have enough time to get the ads in.
But I will say that I think this is the first time that the 3 of us have done one where we hit 2 right off the jump. I think usually it's like a lot of feeling out before we get the first unanimous. So not this time. I mean, this could be the only 2 we get, but like.
Well, the pressure's on you, Jamo, too. Justin and I both chose winners, so if you don't get that, you're automatically inferior to us. I'm sorry.
Tough.
All right, Jamie, where do you want to go?
I'm gonna go for, I think, one of my favorite top tracks from them, and that's "Going Fishing."
Sorry, mate.
There we go.
That is an enjoyable song.
It's just a vibe of Australia and New Zealand. Like, I'm just gonna I'm out. I'm going fishing.
It's a road trip type of song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I can't save you, Jamie. So
that's right.
You've messed up the perfect streak, you dog.
Well, we're gonna get the next 19, so we had to drop one.
Not possible now, mate. Not possible.
That's also true. See, now I don't know where to go. Now I feel like, well,
Fishing.
now that we missed one, I feel like the pressure's off a little.
Completely.
Oh boy. I don't know. This song is jumping out at me right now. I don't know why. Might be the title, but Inside Me Dead.
Man, I love that song. That was actually one on my list, but I've decided to go populist.
Yeah, I don't have that either. Sorry, mate.
Oh, well, I followed Jamie's route.
It's so dreamy though. Like it's almost shoegazy, that song. It's got this real hazy sort of feeling to it, and that super long chord progression that never seems to resolve itself. I don't know. It's just so moody, isn't it?
I think that's kind of what I locked in on. Yeah.
Like kind of like a drawn out in a good way sort of song.
Yeah, and Inside Me Dead, I can relate to that.
Right? I think that was like one of the biggest things is like just the title alone kind of set the mood for me.
But then like at the end of the song kind of like really mellows out for just that little period after all the vocals have died down. Like
I think that was them simulating the death, like now I'm dead, my heart beats slowing down, I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, but the funny thing is in terms of album order, it's like in the middle, so like.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna ignore that. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be in the middle. That should be somewhere else.
All right, so I big whiffed. You're up, Josh.
I'm gonna go for Golden Ship. I always seem to play this and Inside Me Dead together, so I thought that this would be my next pick.
Absolutely, yes.
Nice.
Nope.
It's all good. It's all good.
Like this is such a celestial kind of like really dreamy tune. Like every time I hear this song, I just think of, I don't know why this is what I picture, but like a ship floating in the clouds sort of thing,
I wouldn't be so relaxed if I was on a ship floating in the clouds. I dare say I'd have a bit more anxiety than it's let off. I don't know. I just like how this song builds. It's mellow, but it's got that sense of urgency to it, and that it increases in sort of maybe not energy, but I don't know. The instrumentation gets added along.
It's the higher key vocals as well.
Yeah, the falsetto and the chorus definitely adds to that sort of feel. And I love how that is sort of mixed together with that sort of shimmering guitar.
Yeah,
it's nicely mixed, and again, similar to what we're saying about Inside Me Dead, sort of that dreamy side of their.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not like their like quiet and sparse dreamy side. It's more like here's a lot of instrumentation. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie.
I'm gonna go with a song that I love for the whole package of vocals, instrumentals, and all, and that is "Sunbed."
Yeah, that's bloody Nokia, bloody ringtone sounding MF. Yeah, I've got that.
Is that a no from you, Justin?
That is a no from me. Nope.
Can I just note for this song, I think one of my favorite lyrics from this is I'm in a microwave turning an orange hue. Just like the comment on the experience it is and how odd it is that this used to be a phenomenon that people went to, tanning salons to expose themselves to deadly UV rays to look a certain way.
It's actually cooked because as someone who has received the nickname Casper for my skin pigment and my tendency to turn red just thinking about the sun, I couldn't actually imagine someone going to a sun.
Yeah, dude.
So it freaks me out.
That's something I've never understood. I mean, teach their own, but like, I don't get that. Being tan is not that important. Like it's just crazy talk.
You know what I don't understand, Justin? The fact that my ancestors stole a loaf of bread I'm assuming I'm a convict from England somewhere or islands,
Right.
and then come out here, bloody one of the hottest places on the planet, with a hole in the bloody ozone. Like, mate, it's actually cruelty.
Yes.
I'm suffering for their sins.
Very
300
much
years
so.
ago, whatever it was.
Very much so. Wait. All right. I keep scanning over this one. How about A Day in the Sun?
I do like that song, but I don't have it.
Yeah, same here.
It's very lovely and mellow.
Dang it. All right, so I'm clearly off in my own orbit on this one. Other than those first two.
Any appreciation is good appreciation.
But it is like, you know, something like this, it does have to kind of, it's like, it is kind of neat to hear an outsider's perspective on something specific like this band. So, all right.
And I do think that song does sort of sum up their signature sound, like very low key and mellow, but also with like always have this sense of longing in their songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice song,
but not nice enough. All right, Josh.
I'm gonna go for a song called Waltz. Very, again, low key catchy, and the doo-doos, great description. They get stuck in my head all the time. It's not even a worded melody.
Can't save you.
Unfortunately, I don't have that one, but again, it's Fandango is a stellar album, and it does add to its cog for that the album.
All right, Jamie.
I think I'm gonna go with we'll switch it up, and I'll go with one from like the only one I've got from their EP, which on Spotify is kind of attached to the Buffalo album, and that's Middle Dream.
No, mate.
No. No, unfortunately.
I think it's like, I think their albums are definitely their strength, but every time I listen to Middle Dream, I'm just like, this is actually a really good track, which if they didn't attach it to Buffalo, probably not many people would really be listening to it.
Well, they won't be because it's not on this playlist. But hopefully they hear your impassioned support of the song.
Yes, your assessment on it, and all right. Well, shoot. I feel like this one was definitely musical driven. Silent Orb.
Nah, sorry.
I really do like that track, but it's not in my list.
God bless it. Oh God. Okay. I really am just off in doing my own thing here. Okay. All right, Josh.
While we're on the topic of EP songs not getting in, and sense of humor, there's a song off their EP called "Dickheads Abound." Now, this reminds me of something about this. For some reason, reminds me of Radio Gaga, but without the dramatic and the chorus. It's just a nice sounding song, but I can't ignore a song with the lyric saying "Dickheads are back, hanging out and smoking crack." Like, it's just so stupid and dry, and like it's very much Australian, New Zealand sense of humor. Like,
yeah, I don't have it on my list, but like it's funny for the title of the track. It's so mellow as well.
Yeah, dickheads are back, hanging out.
You know what's funny is like if I would have had another pass at the playlist to gather the like what you guys were talking about with the sarcastic lyrics, this would have not only made my list, but it would have been higher because it definitely stuck out on my first pass. But I was like, this feels like an outlier. Like but like so clearly I just wasn't catching things on the first pass. So I did.
It's almost an Arnie Donna adjacent sort of like
yeah
comment.
Yeah,
like that's what I thought of. I'm like, I wonder if Justin's heard this, he might see the similarities there in that lyric.
All right, Jamie.
Well, I know I'll get Josh of this one, so I'm gonna go with it. Jason.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Mm,
Just this, it's just the whole song's unsettling, and in the middle, it just this big Godzilla sort of slowed down riff comes up, and
Yeah,
it just
dark
catches you off guard.
brooding the whole time.
Also positive brooding, but then in the middle, it's just like wow, Beavis and Butthead language there, but yeah,
Are we still only at 2
yes.
unanimous?
Yep.
yeah. Well, you ruined it, Jamie. You're on track for 20.
We only have a couple twos as well. So, I mean, I've got plenty out here, but I'm also the
Oh, yeah.
outlier. So, I can't seem to find you guys again. I'm only in on the 2 unanimous. Everything else has been a miss. So
I trust you, mate. You got this.
well, let me go ahead and immediately destroy that trust and start with Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Nah, I don't.
Oh, at least I got a 2. I will take the 2 at this point in the gameplay.
I mean, that track is great for being the title of the album. You know, the title track of the album, and it's one of those boppy tunes that you can just really tap to the beat.
Well, Jamie, let me say this: you're not going to name your album after the shittest song on the album, are you?
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean is good for the title track? Of course, the title track's going to be good.
I'm sure there are title tracks out there where like it's just an intro to the album or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
for whatever reason, I've just never got that song. I hear it and I'm like, I know this is a good song. This is like probably one of their poppier tunes. Like it's a single, but I just for whatever reason never clicked with me as much as some of the other songs.
Mm.
But yeah.
All right, Josh.
I think I might throw out a song called "The Captain."
Yeah.
yes,
there we go.
Hey.
It's just got this really bombastic, like 80s sim sound. And I will say, they've got 2 singers, Justin, that sound very similar. But this is from their second singer, Luke Buda, who was the person I first got into from this band. He has, every time he uses his falsetto in a song, it just really adds a lot of energy to it. And that I love the falsetto in this song. It's really sort of silly, but I don't know, it's fucking catchy.
yeah, like the chorus is also spot on.
Yeah.
It's so good, like, and the synthy highlights in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it.
About time we got another one. About time.
Very tasty.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yes.
All right, Jamie.
I'm gonna go with a track that I love just because, and this is what I quote to, the detriment of what my partner enjoys, like, and that is Orange and Mango.
Nah,
Orange and Mango.
not a fan of mango.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I love it. It's like a ditzy tune, and I think there's lots of times where I go, it takes 2 to tango, and then I follow it up with like an orange and a mango, and she just like sighs like that.
That is so cringe. And you know what? They would have deliberately made that cringe, but I can't handle it. If you said that to me, I'd probably kick you in the nuts.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm gonna take a wild swing here, because later on you get stuff with the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, which I thought was interesting. Like it added a whole new interesting layer to them, and this one really stuck out to me. So it's probably going into the bin. Miserable Meal.
No, sorry.
No,
just your description made me laugh. You're like, it's probably going there. They're very positive about it. What is the Miserable Meal? I haven't heard this song closely enough to know what it is.
Right? That's what I'd like to know. It was very interesting to me. So, not interesting enough to figure out what the meal was, clearly, but. All right, Josh.
I will say about that record, I didn't have any of the songs in my 20, but I did like the Transit of Venus. That's a nice song. But in terms of my next song to put out there, I'm surprised you didn't do this, Justin, because something I've observed is that you love your track ones of album one. So I'm assuming you don't have this, but I really like the song "Sister Risk" of Horsepower.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Did you do or don't, Jamie?
Don't.
No, me
Don't.
neither. It's a great note. You know, that is typically a me thing. I think I specifically didn't do that this time because I was doing an episode with you guys, and as I said, I definitely had it my first go around because I do think it kind of sets a good tone for them. But I think my argument in my head was I felt like Bright Gray is where it started for me. So that's why I went where I went there.
Man, could you imagine that as a track one on an on a band's first album, Bright Gray?
Yeah,
right.
Like that.
That's
I'd just stop there. So
Yeah.
that's probably as good as it's going to get for us.
All right, Jamie.
I'll go with the next highest one on my list. Instead of just picking randomly, and go Sideways Glance.
I do like that song, but it's not on my list.
I can't save you either. Nope.
Damn it.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Oh, we've got 3, which
We
is
do.
pretty good. I think we've had worse.
Yeah, and we do need. I mean, we do need a couple more 2s, but we're not. This isn't miserable gameplay. We just are kind of all over the place. So,
Justin, just to take you off track very momentarily, what's the least amount of songs you've had as an automatic through for a band?
0 for Wasp. Wasp, we didn't get any through, so we had to build the entire list.
I'm going to listen to that episode and get into the band just to see what I get. And conversely, what's the most you've gotten in the first round?
I think it was 13.
Holy shit!
AJR got
you have to cut it
13.
in?
Yeah, we had like the discussion became the 3 that get cut off, and then we did 11 for Elton John.
I can understand that. Elton John's standout tracks, like all-time greats, and then some of the other ones are a bit. Jesus Christ, that would be fun. That'd be another dimension.
Yeah,
voting songs off. It's like bloody Big Brother or some shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like these we all agreed on, but they still have to go. Wait. Yeah, that's my turn.
I think it's you, Justin.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one's sitting at the top of my list, so let's find out. Sally.
I've got it.
Sorry, bud.
Okay, we'll take the 2
So
though.
Sally can wait. Don't look back in anger, Jamo. Sorry, that's fucking shit.
I do love, because I like my film photography, and I love the line in it. You look like Kodachrome. You've gone a little yellow. Like
right.
It's just such a niche reference that, especially when the song came out, I don't think anyone would know. And even like today, almost no one would know what that refers to. Especially because that film stock in general is like dead. You can't even process it anymore. So like people will never be able to like recreate it themselves. They have to just go back on what's already created in history.
I think what you're hitting on here is like one of the greatest reasons I love doing these kinds of bands with you guys specifically is you, like, to me the song just spoke to me, right? Like nothing deeper, just this one felt like what this band is to me, right? And you brought this whole other layer with the lyrics, and I mean, obvious, it's obvious that it's, we're different people, so we're gonna have different reasons, but your reason being not only just the lyric, but the lyric was about something you enjoy that is something that is basically obsolete. And I don't know, man, that says something to me. It's why it
describes. Sorry, it describes all of Jamo's interests. Obsolete. No one else cares. It is great though, getting that extra layer.
Yeah,
that's why it's good having the after the fact chats as well, just learning different things like from each other, because like you have different perspectives to us, and It's intriguing. And that's why you got to move out here one day. I know you mentioned it, but you got to do it.
Eventually.
It's in the bylaws.
God bless.
Yeah.
I'm. We'll talk about this more, but Adam, I asked where should I come if we did a deprogram tour. So I'm asking you, the audience, as well. And he said Adelaide, and I, obviously Adelaide's across the country from you
Adelaide.
guys, but still, like, I would
I
love.
went there for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently. It's nice.
I might
Go
actually be moving there for a year potentially. We'll see.
Yeah, go there, Justin.
So we'll
It's basically miniature Melbourne from what I've heard. And
we'll talk about
had
this
it
more
described to me.
on After the Fact. So if you guys want to hear that, patreon.com/oh hi Justin. All right, so I threw Sally out there, and she didn't look back in anger, as Josh said. I'll bring that back. Anytime we can get Oasis in twice, I'm good with it. Josh, you're up.
You did say eventually before, so the next song I'll add is Eventually. This isn't meant to be a pop song. This is just a nice, mellow, atmospheric track.
Oh mate, I love that song, but I think I passed on it just because I was like really being tough with my first pass. Like I know Justin, you said you had 40 on your first pass. My first pass was about 26, 27. I ended up adding songs as they got stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise I would have added most of Fandango, most of Buffalo. Like it would have been one of those, and I thought I'll be tough on myself early.
No,
Those are all empty words to me because you didn't add it in.
Yeah.
That's the smart way to do it, is be tough early. That way the tougher cuts aren't as tough. Like they're hard, but like you're not like pulling your hair out going, how do I get from 30 to 20? So,
but that's just such a mellow tune eventually. Like you really, it is one of those ones you can just sit with in the dark room, like with your headphones on, listening to it as you doze off. Like it's super chill.
And that's the thing with this band. Like even you guys mentioned Sally before, and like that's a good song, but because they're a few albums in and they sort of master that sound, you find yourself choosing songs with similar atmosphere, and then after a while you're like, okay, well, if I've got 2 or 3 songs off the same album with that atmosphere, I'll shorten it and just choose the song that I least like out of those.
yeah.
It's that's why the program's so much fun, but also torturous. Is that you have to come up with these weird reasons for narrowing it down, and you can be indiscriminate or as discriminate as you want. It's always fun and torture.
And torture. Yeah. Don't forget that part. And torture. All right, Jamie.
I think I'll go the next one from Fandango. The opening track, Black Mold.
Nah, sorry, mate.
No. Sorry.
It's a good song though.
I do love this. Like the one thing I remember, so this is the core memory I have from when I went to see these guys live, and the only time I've been able to is when they were just about to sing this song. The lead singer asked the crowd, is there anyone who is from Auckland, and then said, this song is a representation of Auckland, where it's always damp, and you always have, everyone apparently in Auckland has like mold just growing around because of how damp and wet the country is. And that basically does describe New Zealand pretty well. Like it's basically just a very wet Australia almost.
Tasmania.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Like it's the way I described it the first time I went there was, because Australia is a very yellow kind of scenic country when you get out into the more rural areas, where New Zealand is offensively green. Like it's like someone took a photo of some like field and then put the saturation up to the top. That's exactly what New Zealand looks like, but just like it's surreal. It's so green.
Offensively green. I love it.
Can you see a theme here with the Kodachrome and and the contrast on the photo going up?
Yep.
Jamie's offering to produce the art for the program.
I don't know. This song's jumping out at me, so I'm gonna toss this one out here. How about Burning Wreck?
Yeah, I got that, mate.
I do not.
All right, we'll take the 2. We will take the 2, and I think that we're still not out of NTP. I don't think so. There's still a good number of songs left, but yeah, we're 1 away from being out of NTP. So, all right.
Well, that song sort of floated around. That was outside my 20 for a while, but I don't know. It's so tender and sort of genuine. I couldn't ignore it. You just want to give him a hug. He's like, he sings, "I've got a little bit scared," and you're like, "Oh, come over here, man. You just had a near-death experience. I'll help you feel better."
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. All right, Josh.
Okay, so next, I'm gonna throw out a song that I think is the standout of their first album called "Let Me Die a Woman."
Oh,
That was in my short list, but didn't make it.
Ah, well, it is what it is.
so as I've said this so many times on this show, and I'm sure people are so tired of hearing it. It was on my short list as well. But as I try to do, I try to listen to a good portion of the whole list before we record. And so as I was sitting here before you guys came on, that song came up, and I was like, "This one's on my list, right?" Nope. And I was like, "Oh man." And who wants to make like last minute changes? Because if I bring that one on, then I got to figure out which one I'm taking off, and nobody wants that mess. So
Well, you say that. I had 3 songs in rotation for number 20 and ended up making a change to that just today. So
I mean, like, I don't know. If I'd listened to it yesterday, that one might have made it on. So it's one of those things. It's one of those where it was like a fringe song for me. So
Yeah.
all right, Jamie.
we'll go something a bit boppy again and go Celestial Bodies.
I do like that song, but it ended up outside my top 20.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you where it dropped off. I have no idea. It's another one of those ones. I don't have a reason. It just kind of had to go. So
Oh, all's fair in love and war.
yeah, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I still have 10 left. So let's do like a couple more rounds and then we'll dump out. Well, I mean, again, we keep circling around, and I keep looking down at my list, and certain songs jump out at me. So I'm gonna do it again. How about Wrestling with Demons?
No, sorry.
Nah,
I had a
unfortunately not.
I had a feeling. All right, Josh.
I'm going to go with another song that to me sort of sums up their sense of humor off their first album too, called "Celebrate." Now, I'm pretty sure you guys don't have this,
Yeah.
but I've got to say, it cracks me up because it starts out as this sort of like almost jaunty bossa nova sounding acoustic song, talking about how great his girlfriend is, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is kind of positive," and he's like, "Celebrate, my girlfriend's great," and you're like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "She makes me wait, and then I suffocate." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, well, okay." And then the whole song, without changing the chord progression really, but just the instrumentation gets more and more mournful and depressing over time, and sort of just ends in this like, it doesn't end properly. It's not a clear stop. It just sort of floats. I'm like, wow.
Self-deprecating humor.
I don't expect that from the start of the song, which is kind of lightweight. But just the idea of like, yeah, she's great. Now I suffocate because she makes me wait. I'm like, oh, well, it sounds so sarcastic. He's just too earnest at the start.
Jamie, where do you want to go?
I don't believe I've said a song from Pegasus yet, and I don't think we've had many. So I'm gonna go with my top Pegasus song, and that is "Damn the River."
Yep, that's a good one.
Yeah, I got it too.
Hey,
All right,
That's probably got one of their best riffs in it, I have to say.
Yeah, I've got like the way I describe it is it's a more brooding song with a fun synth line.
I think that officially takes us out of NTP.
Very nice.
And also, Josh's 5 is not out of the realm of possibility anymore.
Yeah, we've got 4 now, don't
Yeah.
we? There you go.
You guys both went more positive, yeah? From memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
6
Come
and
on,
7
boys.
does seem far off, but
Let's give it to Justin again because he definitely does not want to choose.
I never want to. Never, ever, ever. All right. Boy. Feels like the pressure's back on now. It's been off for a while.
Was it the first one that I actually suggested that had a unanimous?
In all of the shows ever.
Not the shows ever. Particularly in this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. To both,
There you go.
possibly.
But you had all the songs, so it's just a matter of saying them. So
Yeah, I just have to pull my weight.
give yourself a pat on the back. You're just letting us get the praise, but really, you had all the songs, so your taste
true.
is good.
We keep talking about sense of humor, and this one kept. There's 2 versions of it. I've got the "Give Up Your Dreams" version. Bob Lennon, John Dillon.
That was one of the last cards.
Unfortunately, I don't have that one either.
All right.
That's a great single, though, and probably very harshly done by not getting a vote from Jamal and myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, that was part of my harsh initial cut. I think I got rid of that one.
Josh.
Now, we had a great Pegasus song go through unanimously last time, and I'm going to have a crack at all in an afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey,
There we
we got
go.
5.
How's this? Pegasus comes up, well, twice, maybe so far, and it's gone through
It's
twice.
gone through twice.
They didn't fart around.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it is at the bottom half of my list, or the bottom quarter, but it is still some stellar songs, and it made 20 regardless. So,
Well, they have this instrument in this song that I think even in other episodes, Justin, I have no idea where I've mentioned it, but I call it the plastic beach synth. So the Gorillaz synth that pops up all throughout that. It's like this big glimmering synth hit, and I have no idea what the instrument's called, and I hope I find out one day because I love every song I hear with it in it. I like. There's another song that I didn't choose called SeaWorld that had this as well. If anyone can find out what it is,
yeah.
please let me know because it just reminds me of Plastic Beach by
It
Gorillaz.
had the same thing, like I didn't choose SeaWorld either, but the way I describe it, it's got this 8-bit section in the track that I just love.
That's not what I'm talking about, but
Like, I get
that
what you
is
mean.
in Plastic Beach as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting. Like, as I was listening to All in an Afternoon Underneath You, like, I immediately heard Gorillaz. Like, immediately, I was like, "Oh, that's what he's talking about." So that is. I don't even think it clocked with me on first listen. So, but there we are at 5. So I mean, now Jamie's 6 doesn't seem ridiculous. Like it seems plausible, not likely, but plausible.
So it's a 7.
Uh,
Come on, glass half full, glass half full.
You're right. All right, but you're up, Jamie.
We'll go with Corel.
Nah, mate.
I don't have it either.
I think true to my track record, like I love those more instrumental heavy tracks that some bands do, and this one is one of those. Even though it does have vocals like near the end, and I do remember also when I heard them live. I heard this track live and I'm like, this is actually sick because Corel is one of those longer longer length tracks, and I'm like, this is awesome. And as soon as I figured out which song it was when I came back home, I'm like, yeah, this is really good. It's like bright and like airy, but then it gets like darker and brooding. So yeah, it was definitely one of my standouts that I recall from that. Like if you go to a gig that you've not really heard the band, like tracks from a band much, and then you hear a song, you go, yes, I really want to like find which track this was. You
Mhm.
know, that's clearly a decent track from that perspective.
Well, I feel like other than my than Bright Gray, I feel like I've been whiffing on my happy ending stuff. But I'll throw out another one here. How about Bleaching Sun?
Wait. No, sorry. I thought I had that.
No, I do not have it either.
He's a man on his own island, and that island is New Zealand. All right.
Well, New Zealand's actually quite a few islands, but that's all right. We'll look past that.
Thanks for the geography lesson, Jammer. I didn't ask for it.
Well,
but-
they have the main ones, north, south, and then the equivalent to Tasmania, it's Stewart Island.
Well, there we go.
Do it. Oh,
I'm not up on my, as one might be, my New Zealand knowledge. So,
it's very niche.
all
Well,
right.
it's niche, but yeah.
One should know if they're gonna make a joke the way I did. I should probably know. All right, Josh.
I'm gonna name a song called "Slumber Party" because that's what Jammer and I are having right now.
I got it.
Oh, beautiful.
I do not.
Oh, it's funny because when I was going through the playlist, Burning Wreck was first, and that tender, very genuine song, and then you got this overly dramatic, almost musical sounding song, and it just really freaks out the end. It's so different to a lot of their other songs that I'm like, I've got to put this in because it stands out for that reason. I think.
Yeah, it stood out. I mean, it stood out on the standout record for me. So that says something.
And you know what? So, some of the harmonies at the end sound almost Grizzly Bear-esque, if I'm to say.
Oh, wow.
To get a
okay.
little call back there.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow. And just like that, I only have 4 left. Jamie.
Morning Riff.
Morning Riff is
No.
not one of those 4.
Damn.
Did you wait to 12 a.m. to say that song title?
No, I did not.
Boom. All right. So I think I'm just gonna dump out since I'm already at the bottom of my list anyway. Let me sort the sheet out and then go from the top here. Wildlife.
Nope.
No.
All right. Nest Egg.
Nope.
No.
All right. Guru.
Nope.
No.
And last but not least, Race Day.
Nope.
No.
All right. You have a chance here to, well, actually, before we even do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Josh wins at 5. So, because we can't do better than 5. You have a chance to make the next round a little bit harder here between the two of you. You want to dump out, Josh?
Yep. So the Swarm,
No.
Skeleton,
No.
Irrelevant Noise,
No.
and Gandalf.
No.
No. Skeleton.
Oh, he has made it harder because we've got a lot more singles. So I've got, for me, the only song I've got from the latest album, which I vibed with immediately, was Hounds of Hell. And my final one, which slotted in just this afternoon into number 20, is Prawn.
Oh.
That was in the shortlist. That another nice low key track.
Yeah, in fact,
guitar.
I think the reason why I ended up putting this as number 20 is I was going through my list, or actually step back. I was in bed and this track from theirs came up to mind. I'm like, oh, what song is that? So then I go through my short list and I basically flick through all of them and go, wait, it's none of these. So where is it? And then I basically went through a few of the albums and finally found it. I'm like, why is this not in my short list if it's stuck in my head? So I then chucked it onto the short list and then eventually was like, no, if it got stuck in my head at one point, it needs to make it into the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it really is that simple. Like sometimes I know I overthink my lists a lot because I do a lot of them. But yeah, that does say something. Well,
Yeah.
5. Who would have thought? At one point, it did not look like we were going to get here, but we got 5. Bright Gray, Flock of Hearts, The Captain, Damn the River, All in an Afternoon, which means Josh will have our final say today. Through to the conversation, we have 7 that we need to get down to 4, and then Josh's final say. So I'll throw these out to you: Golden Ship, Sunbed, Jason, Buffalo, Sally, Burning Wreck, Slumber Party. Do any of those jump out as automatic that should be in, or conversely, kind of it did its job, but it doesn't belong here?
For mine, I'd probably say Golden Ship. I think that is a pretty majestic song.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it definitely does like encapsulate their sound or some of their sound. So I think it's worthwhile making sure that's in the list.
Yeah, I'm with it. I mean, I was the odd man out. So, is there something else that's jumping out at you, Jamie?
I have to say Sunbed is probably the one track that I'm like, I really dig it. It like lyrically it's great. Instrumentally it's great. Like I vouch for it wholeheartedly.
Well, again, that's another one. I'm knock me over with a feather, as Curtis would say. Like I'm easy. So, all right. So that automatically brings us up to 7. So we've got 3 more that we need to grab here. Between Jason, Buffalo, Sally, Burning Wreck, Slumber Party, and of course, one of those is Josh's final say. So technically, does not have to be one of those 5.
Have we have we got Inside Me Dead as well?
I
remember you having that one.
I did have that. Did I forget to mark that off?
I'm only saying that because that was my number 1. A lot from before. So if that could go on there, I'll definitely put that forward.
I'd put my hand up and say, yeah, like I'd be happy to have Inside Me Dead on the list.
All right, so let's do that. For some reason, I didn't mark that down as 2. I don't know.
Because the inside of us are all.
Yeah, right.
But like that would be a great one to have, I feel like, as number 10, kind of like finish off that 10 and then go, oh, I wonder where their sound can kind of go.
All right, well, that brings us up to 8. So we'll leave Josh out on this one because he's going to have the final say for number 10 anyway. Jason, Buffalo, Sally, Burning Wreck, Slumber Party. Is one of those kind of jumping out at you, Jamie?
I think I really, really love Jason as a track. But I think for the list for people to get introduced to the Phoenix Foundation sound, you really can't go past Buffalo as a track to add in, personally.
I'm with it. I mean, I was in on that one, so let's do that. Let's grab that as number 9, and then Josh, that brings us to the final say. To anyone listening for the first time, you can choose any of the Phoenix Foundation songs. Me personally, I prefer it be a song that's still alive, but you do not have to do that.
I like Jason too, but I feel like we've completely ignored your opinion so far. Well, you haven't given yourself to share your opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion.
Typical, like I've got the final say. What do you want to do?
Can I save the final say for choosing the lead up song, and we just try to pick the next one together? Is that right?
Oh, why do you do this?
Granted, I'm just gonna say, I'm just going to say Bright Grey later anyway, let's be honest.
Yeah, no,
I
That's
Yeah.
not, well,
yeah.
let's not give away the game, but I just did.
yeah.
My personal opinion is Jason, but I've got two of the other songs as well, and I'd just like to hear which one's your favorite out of the others that are left.
Well,
Justin.
as I mentioned, Happy Ending really kind of set the tone for the band for me, for real. Like, again, not to erase anything that happened before it, but like it really changed my perception on the band. So so far we only have Bright Grey, which, that's a hell of a one to have, but like having more Happy Ending would kind of, to me, go, okay, this is where it clicks in.
Okay, so Jamo, what do you prefer, if you can remember, out of Burning Wreck and Slumber Party?
I don't know, because as much as I vibe with some of the songs from that album, Happy Ending,
A lot of songs to remember.
yeah, it's not the. I didn't have too many from that album in my shortlist. I think the two I had Bright Grey in my top 20, and then I had Irrelevant Noise as my other one that rounded it out. So I'm not super familiar with that album because I wasn't listening back to it as often as I was the other ones. So I can't really help you with that one.
I mean, that said, there's nothing wrong with going with your instinct. Your instinct was Jason, so it's.
I think having Sally, like, do we have anything else from
the first record? No.
Horsepower?
We have nothing from the first record.
Nope.
And I think Sally isn't a bad one to have.
You know what? I am going to be a cockhead, Justin. If we're going to have a song from Horsepower, I'm going to use my final say now. And I'm going to be a total cockhead. Or a dickhead, as they say. I think if we have a song from Horsepower, for the diversity of this playlist, and to completely disagree with both of you, and as I said, be a cockhead, I reckon Let Me Die Woman would add a lot to the playlist.
Well, yeah, I don't mind that. It wasn't in my 20, but it's in my list overall, so I have no issue with that.
And I've got nothing against Sally, but Sally can wait.
Much slower track. It doesn't. Poor Sally.
I know she's had a rough night, but what's the point of getting the final say if you don't get to be a dickhead every now and then?
Well, I'm okay with Let Me Die Woman anyway. So
So
but it's been said.
So by saying this, Justin, I've actually made Jamo offensively green, like New Zealand. He's not happy. He's smiling through the tears. But can I put through "Let Me Die, Woman" just to be an arsehole?
No, I mean, it's completely your choice. And just to kind of hammer home the point, if I would have listened to the list yesterday, it would have made mine. So like, it's not like you're reaching out of left field some song that didn't even come up in the conversation today. So.
This is why I love you guys, because you're both very sweet and both justifying me making what is a nasty choice.
I'll still call you the C word whenever I see it.
I'll see you next Tuesday too.
Yeah.
We got
you
to
in
10.
ENT.
We got to 10. Bright Grey, Flock of Hearts, The Captain, Damn the River, All in an Afternoon, Golden Ship, Sunbed, Inside Me Dead, Buffalo, and Let Me Die a Woman. Is there a point to this? The next round, the number one, are we all in agreement? It's Bright Grey?
Okay,
it doesn't sound anything like it, but it's the Born to Run of the playlist. Like, I don't know, it's just an anthem.
All right,
get in there.
I'm with it. Obviously, like I said, that was the moment for me that this band became a problem. So, all right, Bright Grey it is our number one. Let's run down this one last time. Bright Grey, Flock of Hearts, The Captain, Damn the River, All in an Afternoon, Golden Ship, Sunbed, Inside Me Dead, Buffalo, Let Me Die a Woman. Let's let Bright Grey get a moment in the sun.
bright grey in the sun. It's such a New Zealand thing, isn't it? The New Zealand band having bright grey as their lead-off track, as their best track.
Well, to be fair, it's pretty typical of how the weather is there.
Yeah.
It has to be quite overcast to rain. Although, as my partner likes to remind me, sun showers are a very common thing in New Zealand.
It's funny, like I forgot, like this has like a good minute-long build-up.
Yeah, it's not good when you're trying to put it in the background. I can't remember which episode it was, Justin. There was one where I kept saying, "Oh, look, the part's coming now." Oh, actually, no, it's now. Oh, for God's sake, she'd get. I think it was Grizzly Band, but it was one. I
think it must have been
forever,
yeah.
And I'm like, bloody hell, I'm over it now. I don't even want to put it in anymore.
Well, I think the build-up for the song does add to the charm of it as well, and it is probably a very good start for the playlist because like you really get gently nudged in.
All right, we have done it. We have turned you on to the Phoenix Foundation. You're very welcome for that. And maybe we're offensively gray. Like I don't know. I feel like offensively gray is kind of going to be, or green rather, offensively gray as well. I mean, no, it's not
Justin,
10 in the morning.
You're gonna have to put up the art of us, but just make it green tint, the whole thing, like
Sepia tone.
No, green.
No,
Green. It's got to be
not
green.
sepia.
Got to be green.
Yeah.
But we've done it. We turned you on to the band. You're very welcome. If you disagree with our list, if you're listening on Spotify, you can tell me right then and there. Like there is a Q&A. You can say, hey, these are the 20 I would have gone. Whatever you want to say in the Q&A. I always ask, what do you consider essential? So, if you disagree with our list, that's a good place to do it. If you think you can do better on a band, go to legionofstupid.com, click shows, click deprogrammed. About halfway down, there's a sign-up sheet. Tell me what band you want to talk about. Come in, and we'll get it done on the Discord there. There's also a Discord link on the legionofstupid.com website. You can listen to the show there. All sorts of stuff you can do on legionofstupid.com. But obviously since we're a podcast, we're on all major podcast platforms. Subscribe, rate, listen from any of those. On Spotify, it does help if you give us 5 stars and do leave a comment. It does help us in the algorithm. I have seen noticeable number differences when people do that. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, supposedly that helps. I don't know if it does or not. I've not seen a difference in numbers in Apple, even though it is the place where most of you are listening. It's weird. Let's see what else. Patreon.com if you want to hear us talk about whatever we're going to talk about. We talk a lot about Auntie Donna in the After the Facts. It's because it's a new thing for me, not for these guys. But we'll talk about something, and who knows what it'll be. But we'll find out on After the Fact. You can find out by going to patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 gets you in the door, and you get that. You'll get Deprogrammed Before the Rest of the World, and access to like chats and stuff, and helping form going forward what this is. So all that, and access to the Discord. I think we've covered all the ground. If not, I don't know. You can let me know. I'm on Threads at DeprogramVA, Instagram as well, and I'm on Twitter at the Hulkster. If you want to do any of those, I'm not really on X that much anymore. So whatever you want to do. I'm at all those places. Find me.
If you send you one.
Yeah.
I always forget that Twitter is X. And
me too. Until it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X now. So, with that,
downward spiral.
Yes, absolutely. We'll probably talk more about that on After the Fact. With that, the Phoenix Foundation. Learn and love, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.